Over 5 million people travel to northern Arizona every year to stand at the edge of the Grand Canyon. They take in the breathtaking 277-mile expanse, snap a few photos, and leave. For the vast majority of these guests, the experience is entirely confined to the surface-level rim. They are interacting with a carefully managed illusion of total access. In reality, despite being one of the most thoroughly surveyed landmarks on Earth, massive sections of the canyon's interior remain unmapped for the public or strictly classified. We are going to descend through 3 distinct levels of the canyon, moving from the crowded overlooks into zones that have been systematically removed from the public record. This descent reveals the canyon's true character as a natural fortress, one that is actively hiding its deepest layers from human reach. The first level of restriction is defined by geography. Deep at the bottom of the gorge lies the Havasupai village, the most remote human settlement in the continental United States. The people here have lived in this isolated oasis for centuries, long before the rim was a tourist destination. Accessing this zone requires navigating a strict bureaucratic and physical gauntlet, a $455 permit, and a grueling 10-mile hike down the canyon walls. This village has no roads. Its isolation is so absolute that mail and food must be carried down by mule trains 6 days a week. At this level, the restriction serves a clear, practical purpose. The harsh landscape and high entry fees act as a filter, using geography to protect a small, fragile community from the millions of visitors above. Level 2 introduces a different kind of barrier: historical intervention. In 1909, the Arizona Gazette published a front-page report regarding an explorer named G.E. Kincaid, who claimed to have discovered an immense underground citadel. Kincaid described a vast network of carved tunnels containing artifacts reminiscent of ancient Egypt. An expedition, he claimed, was backed by the Smithsonian Institution. The Smithsonian immediately denied any knowledge of Kincaid or the site. Shortly after the story broke, the area in question, Marble Canyon, was effectively closed to public exploration, with official records of the find seemingly erased. This pattern of federal intervention is consistent. Following a tragic 1956 mid-air collision over the gorge, the government moved to strictly regulate the canyon's airspace, establishing a permanent precedent for controlling who enters these corridors. Whether the motive is aviation safety or the suppression of anomalous history, Level 2 demonstrates the government's long-standing authority to dictate exactly which caves and which air corridors remain open to the public. Level 3 involves anomalies that are difficult to explain through conventional means. Modern topographical surveys of the canyon contain surgical blank spots, perfectly rectangular voids where terrain data has been redacted from the public record. Researchers attempting to survey these specific digital voids report sudden physical disturbances, ranging from spinning compasses to total GPS failure and drone crashes. These digital redactions often correlate with ground-level sites like Section 7G. Here, military engineers reportedly poured a massive 40-foot concrete wall directly into the rock face to permanently seal a cave system that was deemed off-limits. The secrecy surrounding these sealed zones took an even stranger turn in 1996. Geologists recording seismic activity detected a consistent pulse 3 kilometers beneath the bedrock. It didn't match the random patterns of shifting Earth. It followed the rhythmic cadence of an artificial heartbeat. This represents a total quarantine. Through digital redaction, physical barriers, and the monitoring of acoustic signals, access to this underground phenomenon has been systematically blocked. Why would federal agencies invest such resources into sealing off specific, nondescript coordinates in a public park? The answer may lie in the canyon's inherent nature. It is a 2-billion-year-old geological archive, a site that preserves the deepest physical record of our planet's history. The logic of total preservation was established early on. During a 1903 visit, Theodore Roosevelt famously urged the public to leave it as it is, arguing that the work of the ages could only be marred by human interference. When Woodrow Wilson signed the Grand Canyon into law as a national park in 1919, he institutionalized this sentiment. This move secured absolute federal control over the land, providing a permanent legal mechanism to restrict any area deemed too sensitive for public eyes. Today, we are encouraged to enjoy the surface and photograph the rim, but the layers beneath suggest that the canyon's most profound truths were intentionally hidden away long ago, protected by the very laws designed to save them.